Hello, it's Friday. Got to get down on Friday and find out more information about what's happening in World of Marvel Contest of Champions. Not a lot, especially as we're waiting for a full week until new update live stream and a week after for Summoners Fest, if that's how that functions. Anyway, let's find out what's happening. Well, first of all, that lizard creature seems to be having some elements of tease. On Thursday, so yesterday, we saw this right here, which was an image of the tail of lizard. That's it. There's nothing else. It's just the tail of lizard. We know we're getting lizard. We knew a little while ago we're getting lizard. There's the tail of a lizard. So a bit more on the AFKO. I mean, we could talk about options till the cows come home. Like, what options are you going to choose? Well, I don't know, from a Kabam's perspective, and if you watched the video yesterday, I did say in that I would message Kabam. Unfortunately, in the time that it took to kind of get the video released, there was a response by Kabam, but it wasn't exactly kind of like, well, just straightforward. And effectively, it was like, if they revealed anything or kind of expanded on how the actual parameters of how you draw a champion to have said champion face off against one of the other champions in the AFKO, that it could spoil the event or give unfair advantage or leaks or spoilers and all that stuff. So effectively, choosing these champions right here is like it's still down to a guess rather than fine art. And it is by choice. So if you're interested, you're interested. If you're not interested, don't bother. Is it a bit of fun? Kind of. Do I like the idea of partying with 100 units? Not particularly. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But definitely there was a lot of kind of questions. Can you explain the event is about? Kabam will have all the champions fight each other using auto fight. Well, we don't know they'll have, when it says all the champions, I don't think it's down to all of the champions. I think that it's, from what I've given to believe is, well, then I don't really, because it's like, are they drawn at random? Like, as we said before, are we drawing a Hulk against the Loki? I'd fancy the Hulk versus the Loki. Or in a situation of a shock immune champion, I'd fancy that against Doctor Doom. The same way I'd fancy a champion like Thor to destroy a champion like Iron Man. But I don't know. You don't know. Kabam know how that's drawn, for example. I think that Red Skull take this with his annoying armors and power drain. I think that's a relevant point. And Ultron with evade, regen, and magic damage, heal, possibly. They may be the good ones. For me, Red Skull. It's weird, isn't it? Like, all of a sudden, like, I'm seeing a lot of Red Skulls pop up. But yeah, I kind of think that's going to be a good shout. But then, again, you don't know the pair up. What if he gets paired up against a champion that's able to interact quite well? We don't know. I think we'll learn a little. I think. We got to learn more about this. I think Kabam need to be a bit more forthcoming with information. I guess soon then. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot count to the amount of times that we've been doing Alliance Raid. I thought the Alliance, do you know, I had a really good time playing Nightmare Raids this week, given all the situations that's been happening. I think mainly because, like, just like our pod, our Alliance have been working quite well, been quite proactive. And so I found that I've been able to take down champions more. I've been able to use my Hulk, who's been smashing through fights nicely, doing a lot of damage. And that's been kind of like great. But there's been some really questionable things towards the end, and especially in the Lumatrix boss fight with Vanguard. So this started back a couple of days ago. I don't think Kabam thought ahead for this one. Vanguards that use the Punish Heavies and Special Boost cannot get any charges in the fight as well as you can Punish. Now, for full context, I haven't got to Lumatrix yet. I've definitely smashed through a lot of the kind of like fight to that particular point. But yeah, they ain't good for Vanguards. I'm a Vanguard. And it looks like at this moment in time, our Alliance is mid-flow. I think we're waiting for Revive refresh, so that's something. But there has been some compensation that's been given out to the community, as you can see right here, which Command say this is to do with issues. Now, I don't know if this is to do with addressing the Vanguard issue specifically, or just general based problems that we've seen with the raids itself. Contextually, it's always good to find out like what's going on, because for those that don't watch YouTube, don't follow the forums, and don't follow any other kind of bits of information from Discord, then you'd probably be like, why have I just received the compensation package? This might be it. So let's kind of read on a little bit to kind of figure out what's going on here. My Shang-Chi Crit Crusher is it's the same boat, punish heavies and specials, way to get command consistently disappointing. Once raid info was available, I saw that immediately. Vanguard champions just do not have any built-in miscounter. Other roles have at least one. Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? Like if I use because I was using Hulk, it's not exactly a miscounter. I was surprised at that when it comes to Viv Vision, although there is ways to bypassing it or kind of not focusing that on Viv Vision. You can go elsewhere with any Vanguard works, but the champion Viv Vision that is does have miss-based capabilities. So options to counter, not particularly good. Asmara always was Vanguard, but at the same time I was earning the most points and was defeating most annoying defenders on the map. I made a deal with the Assault player and I took Jean. That way we handled issues in our small group of 3. For me, not having a good champion to fight, but having ability to do that. As for Lumatrix and Vanguards, the only thing you can do is build some charges for other roles. Slowly but surely, hope your battle group has some built-in miscounters. Yeah, people are adapting. In my opinion, Vanguard now is the weakest role. Oh, could be the case. There is a vigilance node on the boss to bypass miss. Yes, but they are saying is to get your roll boost active to get the vigilance, you need to punish the heavies and specials. Yeah, that's the point. So, where's the context? What and how has this been dealt with, if anything? So yeah, on the 22nd, Kabam, we're going to look into it, and I think is it the final thing with this would be the compensation. Definitely going to have to be tomorrow thing. I'm looking to remove the evade from his kit in raids. That way you can punish the heavies on your way to get up to getting vigilance, so you can punish his special. So I guess that's okay. So they're trying to do that. I don't know if that's gone live in game at the moment. Probably not. But if it has, it's gone live and it's a bonus. But if it's not, then of course that causes the issue. Yes, some people are saying about lag and other issues. I guess this is helpful to have compensation, but this is one thing out of the whole situation of the current state of game is I just want to find out what the future's happening with the game, stability, game direction, stuff like that. If you haven't done already, pop on over to the community posts. I've put this out, and I want more people to get involved with it because we're going to use it for a video and kind of get in your opinions and thoughts about Summoners Fest. Like, it's 2 weeks away. What are you looking to gain from it? I've said here, like, what are you looking to see from Kabam to address in terms of game stability, game direction, game features, or are we getting our hopes up for failure? Look, it's a good opportunity to sound off, but go to the post. That means I can just kind of collect all information and kind of like your discussion, and we can bring that into the video and have like what you're actually saying. So please get involved with that, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you want to see from the game in the future, and especially from Kabam. Let's quickly talk about battlegrounds and point farming. So I've seen a few people discussing the means and the tactics on how to go about this, what is right, what is wrong. At the end of the day, how you approach this, it's debatable who gets funny and who doesn't get funny about somebody that wants to, I don't know, farm points by not properly competing. Like, questionable some of the people I've fought against, whether or not they threw the fight, or indeed they just kind of like set up their team, or just allowed the it just to play out how it played out, and it was just like, okay, well, they randomly chose their deck. It wasn't kind of like planned. It just is what it is, and therefore got some points for it. I mean, I don't care. Like, you do you on your time. This is a very grindy game still, and trying to get points and getting something decent from it is always a bit of a questionable element. there's definitely people here. If someone wants to use 2 stars and lose, that's the what's the big deal? Small accounts moving up will help them get better rewards. I'd also get more points for their effort. It's a win-win situation in my books. I hope to face some point farmers myself, and I can move up to GC faster. Let's help the small accounts move on up. I also got this kind of like there's a question about the amount of activity and people interested in playing Battlegrounds at the moment. It's something that is difficult for players to find time to play everything in game. I'm not going to repeat the same things that I kind of want to see from Kabam. You know it. But this is like people want to play these modes or want to play them if they are aligning to a better game direction and structure and setup. But I do feel there's just too many grindy things to do in MCOC at the moment, especially for non-spending players, because you prioritize your units. It's like, okay, well, I'll be super skilled for this month, and I'm going to try and play a load of Battlegrounds. Great. Well, I use the Radiance to then buy units instead, which would be what I'd be farming in general. However, because Kabam have inflated their deals, it means that the non-spending players have to find a lot of units, so therefore they have to do Battlegrounds to get the Radiance units, and they have to do, as well as other things, not just units, by the way, they have to do Arena. So therefore you're increasing the amount of time that players have to play the game, but it becomes stressful, especially in a competitive light. So anything, I think, to kind of like make a little bit of a, cheeky headway with it. But what's everyone's thoughts about like that method of trying to farm points? Put it in the comments. And also, there is or do seem to be some mercs or some cheaters. Let's just go with cheaters in Battlegrounds at the moment. And I think also there does seem to be a large amount of cheaters in Battlegrounds at the moment. Whether or not this is something, I think this like, I know some people want to see more of an, including myself, kind of an active anti-cheat that is more targeted for times when situations in a Battlegrounds fight don't seem fair, or don't seem fair from a point of view of, well, why that champion's doing a lot of damage. This is sus. Like, how does Kabam put something in that kind of addresses that there and then, or something that's able to scan and then bump that particular account off from that fight? Therefore, for the cheater would forfeit by Kabam kind of scanning and going, right, okay, they cheated, and therefore the person that's playing legit gets the win. That is something I'd always love to see in this, and I think it was one of the things early on that would have improved the credibility of the mode. There's a few things as well that I think, again, would have helped the competitive and fair competitive space of Battlegrounds. It's just that it's a bit kind of like too little too late. And I think that's the same thing with Battlegrounds. We'll see this month if there's been an uptick in players, especially because a lot of players and a lot of accounts I saw were kind of like just, well, like not non-active. It's just that a lot of there wasn't enough accounts coming up from, say, Victory Track or GC, or entering Victory Track, or going any further than certain places like Uru and other places like that. But we'll see what happens this month. And that's going to be it for the show. Not a lot happening in the world of MCOC at the moment. I don't think there's going to be anything huge over the weekend, especially as we wait for what seems to be any kind of early footage of Lizard, or indeed anything to come. It's going to be more next week and the week after with the live stream and, of course, Summoners Fest. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.